undefeated former unified champion Shakur Stevenson came out today and stated that a fight versus him and undefeated Gervonta Tank Davis would be like LeBron versus Michael Jordan.
Like a Michael Jordan that came around in his era. Then you got a LeBron that came around in his era. But they wasn't in the same era, so we never got to see them go against each other.
Yeah.
And I think like with me and Tank, you got two special fighters who.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get all into it. It's definitely something to discuss. This is gonna be a crazy situation. You know, obviously we're coming off the heels of the big time bout against Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, that was the biggest fight in the sport of boxing at that time. And like I stated, I was on the record, you know, on numerous occasions saying that there are bigger fights in the sport of boxing to be had. And obviously the big fight could be a Gervonta versus Devin for all the belts. I believe that fight potentially could be bigger than a fight versus Ryan. You know, even with the situation where you think that Ryan is this big time internet sensation, you got Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, I'm telling you, this dude is just a serious problem. You know, Shakur Stevenson is a threat to everybody at the 135 division. You know, so obviously, Tank, he can't go nowhere without hearing Shakur, Shakur, Shakur. And I believe that's why you see a lot of Floyd Mayweather coming back around, returning. I think that could mean that big fights are on the way. And you're gonna see Floyd Mayweather. Mind you, Floyd done work with all of these dudes. But who's Floyd standing in the corner with? Gervonta Tank Davis. So clearly Floyd sees something in Tank that he don't see in everybody else. Even though he tried to get up with Shakur, we do know that he tried to sign Shakur to Mayweather Promotions, but we heard that Shakur was talking about, you know, it was a marquee or something, and they had Tank blown all up, and they had him in a little small section, and he didn't appreciate that, so he elected to move around. But at the end of the day, we all know the kind of fighter that Shakur is and everything that he brings to the table. That's kind of crazy that he stated that about the LeBron dynamic, because we all know the situation with LeBron James. You know, LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I mean, that's like almost like the greatest rivalry that we never got a chance to see. You know, Gervonta Tank Davis is 28 years old. Shakur Stevenson is still young. He's 25. So we're talking about a 3-year difference. Obviously, you see a lot of times that they weren't always in the same weight class. We understand that Shakur just fought his first fight at 135, where he electrified in crazy fashion when he beat Ushani. And it was, like I said, he stopped him in the 6th, and it sent shockwaves throughout. Everybody had an opinion, whether you liked it, loved it, or you hated it. You know, so at the end of the day, that's what kind of fighter Shakur is. A lot of people believe that Shakur is the guy, you know, and we want to see it. This is how you resurrect for people that feel like the sport of boxing is not where it once was, or what. You gotta have these kind of fights. You got these big mega stars, and we can't continue to duck and dodge and avoid each other. We gotta see Devin versus Shakur. We gotta see Devin versus Tank. We gotta see those three must fight each other. I mean, we can't go another time period where all of these guys are not in the ring going toe to toe with one another. I mean, it's horrifying, you know, if this kind of stuff continues, you know, but I don't believe it is. I do believe that coming off the heels is a big financial gain as well. As much as we talk about how much there is to lose, we never talk about how much there is to gain. You know, guys like Rolly, these dudes that even though no matter what, they won't be the A side. And you clearly see what kind of games Tank playing, you know, with the rehydration. Does Tank do that in his next fight against some of these other guys? Do he continue to add rehydrations, you know, in there? You know, and like I said, I guess it's tough. But even though to Tank's credit, Tank was saying that Ryan is not a 135 fighter, you know, so maybe that's why he strategically enacted that, even though people didn't like it or whatever. Unfortunately, he is the A side. These kind of things could take place, and Ryan signed the contract, so that is true. So at the end of the day, we can't cry over spoiled milk. You know, Shakur Stevenson is very confident. He believes in his heart of hearts that he can take out Tank. You seen Clarissa Shields, some of the best boxers you see in the fight game right now. Everybody's backing Shakur, as the phenom of the 135 division, and going to be a threat. And like I said, it's going to be hard pressed to argue. You have, like I said, so many names. Obviously, I believe that it's a sleeper that people aren't discussing. And Floyd Kid Austin Schofield. Make sure you check out our exclusive content on him. We just had him in for an exclusive interview. He stated a lot on Tank, and he also stated a lot on things involving, Ryan Garcia. So you would definitely want to get into that. Devin Haney was brought up, so it is what it is at the end of the day. No matter what's going on, is these fights have to happen, and and I think you get back some of the diehard boxing fans. They never really left, but you're gonna reel back in some of the fans that casually left. We got guys going to the UFC. Hell, people are watching, like I said, WWE, AEW, to get their form of fights that they want to see, because this is how crazy it has been in the sport of boxing. I think every boxer could attest to that, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's almost like fan service versus, trying to keep that old, and like I said, I guess you got to blame Floyd for it in a good way, but it's affecting this generation badly. I guess Floyd, it was so, like I said, it was perfection. It was perfection. You got everybody chasing that. Everybody want to go out 50-0. So that's why we not seeing, we picking and choosing. Oh, no, we're not getting in with that guy. No, and that can't happen. Change must come to the sport of boxing, and it's coming because you keep hearing it. I believe that. Pardon me, Gervonta did a kind of like a media publication, not this fight, but it was the last fight, and he was talking about how he's getting his body in shape because he know that he got the young guys coming up, and the likes of Devin, and like I said, you got Devin, Shakur, and then even other names, who are young, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but we are on the cusp of, I believe, sooner than later, another super fight in the sport of boxing. Like I said, it's crazy how Shakur used the analogy of Michael Jordan versus LeBron, but it is what it is at the end of the day. This is legendary. All of these guys are going to be Hall of Famers in their own right, and we're going to be here documenting it all. Shout out to Shakur Stevenson. You already know what it is. New Jersey, stand up. The undefeated man is doing his thing. And like I said, he dominated in his last fight, 20-0, no losses, no draws, 10 wins, by the way, a knockout. That's coming from my man, Shakur Stevenson. We all know what's going on with Gervonta Tank Davis, 29-0, no losses, no draws, 27 wins violently, by the way, a knockout. It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is.